Look, this is an important debate that we're having about what's in this bill. Congress should certainly be debating what we can do to better manage our forests and contain wildfires and smoke that folks in my district, despite living in the middle of the Mojave Desert, like yourself, have sadly come to know all too well. But I actually want to use my time to talk about what's not in this bill, the issue that we should be addressing first and foremost, and that's an honest and livable wage for people who actually do the work. Our federal firefighters, many of whom are sitting in the audience, are proud to put their lives on the line to save entire communities, but they're staring down the barrel of a 50% pay cut at the end of this fiscal year. And that's on top of the underwhelming and frankly unforgivable thank you for your service they're already getting. Moldy sandwiches, rat-infested barracks, and virtually no mental health support for the PTSD that's often as deadly as the fires they're fighting. And for anyone here who doesn't believe me, I came with receipts. Let me read a brief testimonial, actually from my nephew who serves as a federal firefighter up in Oregon. He's in the Missoula smoke jumper base. This is what he said. 2 years ago, a good friend of mine who'd worked for me for 2 seasons died in his boots after being hit by a tree on a fire in Oregon. Colin was a GS4 making $16 an hour without any money for his family. We have to fundraise for that, and probably without government health insurance. Not much has changed since then, apart from the temporary stipend we keep renewing and the more experienced WFFs that leave to find livable wages and less demanding job. The more dangerous the job is for young folks still on the line who lose that experience in their leadership, not to mention for the American homeowners whose houses burn because we failed to invest in our emergency responders. I have another testimonial. I remember being told by an instructor of our entry-level fire class that, quote, you will end up with at least one debilitating injury and at least a few dead friends if you stay in this profession. So far, at the age of 33, I have a hole in my retina, a couple bulging discs, messed up knees, and injured shoulders, and multiple friends that have died on the line or have been lost to suicide. If you ask most wildland firefighters that have been in for 10 years or more, they will tell you the same thing. This career is rough on the body, and you just hope you make it to retirement in good enough shape to collect on it because the government won't step in to help you. Right now, the government's us in this room. This committee and the House cannot continue to refuse to do what is right by these brave men and women who, despite the injuries, the pain, the loss, and the neglect, keep going back to hold the line because they're the only thing that stands between a wildfire and somebody's home or business. My colleague, Representative Joe Neguse, has a bipartisan bill, the Wildland Firefighter Paycheck Protection Act, which we could be marking up right now, that already has the support of dozens of Republicans and Democrats, myself included. I know you all know what the bill is because these firefighters have been on the Hill for months this week, even begging members of Congress to pass it. So, Mr. Chairman, I'm glad we're having a conversation about the important work we need to do to fix our forests, but let's not forget who does the work, and let's stop and think before we ask more of them for nothing in return.